Welcome back to another video, and this is probably the most interesting one for you, for those who are looking to buy an E-Type. Before discussing prices and condition, most buyers just simply underestimate the variety the E-Type is offering. Here we have the Roadster, which is for most of the people the pure dream, driving around in sunshine, and that is the first thing they're looking at. It is freedom, it is passion, but it has advantages and disadvantages. Compared to the fixed head coupe we have here, this is another 61 car. The coupe has a lot more pronounced body style, and that is maybe the most iconic car people remember when they have seen an E-Type. And this is all 3.8 gearboxes, and it's probably the 3.8s are the more crude, the more purest cars. Then next is the 65, 66 model, which is the same body style, but with a modified rear end, and has a softer 4.2 engine with more comfort inside, and that is maybe the best car for touring. But we have another model here. This is the very often overlooked and not considered 2+2. And from my understanding, this is probably the best touring car of all times. It has a longer wheelbase, it has the comfort of the 4.2, and it has more space, but it has the same view from the cockpit. Combines all the things you have from the Series 1 3.8 up to the 4.2 with a lot of room, space, glory and drivability. Let's go into details and see what makes the difference of the cars. It is not only the gearbox of the Moss box, which doesn't have the first gear synchronized. The 4.2 has a fully synchronized gearbox, but the 2+2 comes for the first time with an automatic. And that makes cruising even more relaxing. It is softer, it is less aggressive, especially for the passenger. And consider the extra space you have. You can lock the car, you don't get sunburned in the coupe, where the Roadster maybe is the one cruising around the Alps or the beach side. So now, where I have confused you even more, let's go into details. Before you start looking for a car, you should make up your mind, what is your desired purpose of the car? And here we are again, looking at the engines. Both engine types, the 3.8, which is of the early cars, which is the more purest and is more revving. It only has the Moss box with the first gear non-synchronized. But on the other side, we have the more cultivated 4.2 engine, which is smoother, has a little bit more torque, and it is optically it looks very much the same. But then there's the other one, which is the V12, the famous V12. It is said that every man should have a V12 once in his life. The V12 is a more revving car. It is very comfortable, not only due to the engine and all the developed technology. So this is a 61, the V12 is a 71, that's 10 years in between. Obviously the V12 is more comfortable, and one of the reasons it is more comfortable and maybe better for traveling, for touring, is the long wheelbase, which already had, as you can see here, this is a 2+2, which you recognize easily on the large frame here and the seats in the rear. The Series 3 has a longer wheelbase. It's based on this one, and we can see here, measuring from the front wheel to the rear, it gives you about a rear wheel, a wheelbase of 273 centimeters. Looking at the short wheelbase, which is a pure Series 1 3.8, that reduces the wheelbase by 10 inch. And you can see here, This has a wheelbase of 240 centimeters. So you can imagine that a longer wheelbase gives you a much more relaxed driving experience on the road. But on the other hand, I have to say, in curvy roads, winding roads, like going up and down the Alps, the short wheelbase is a lot easier to handle. Interestingly, at the moment, I have discovered a car in Denmark, which is a Series 3, and I've driven it in the countryside in Denmark, and it is such a great pleasure. I was impressed by the driving quality, and that car is currently for sale, so you might have a look at my website. And the modern market today is extremely good in creating dreams and desires, but very often the real problems are not visible on pictures. A salesman is skilled and trained to tell you what you want to hear. He knows you are coming to fulfill your dream. He just paints that picture in the right colors, and you don't even think about any potential issues. And that is where the trap lies. That is where a financially bargain, a seemingly bargain, can become a devastating financial issue. The modern market is so tricky. The online internet market gives you a vast choice of possible cars available. And the tricky thing is, on pictures on internet, they all look shiny and nice. And the salesman is taught and educated to tell you what you want to hear. So this is a bit the downside of the modern world, because dreams are created and they know you have them. And on pictures, very often, you don't see the real problems. The rubber mount, the engine mount here, is totally worn. So this is the engine mount. This is the left-hand side. And you see this is totally gone. No function at all. So a bargain or a nice buy can become a devastating financial issue. And especially when you are new to the E-Types or you don't have someone who knows about it. Of course, there's a choice of color. Very, very deeply emotional. And typical colors in the 60s were black, were red, primrose yellow, golden sand, opalescent dark green. These are typical colors of that era. But that can become a trap. You have your dream in your mind, you see a certain color combination, you see yourself driving in the car along the countryside, and there's nothing wrong with it. But be aware, don't only choose the car by the color. There's also a technical background you need to consider. And of course, there's nothing wrong with emotions, because these cars are made to make you feel emotions. The problem begins when emotions completely replace objective evaluations. Common mistakes are buying paint before structure, buying shiny wheels before safety, not being aware of the driving qualities, or making the mistake of buying the cheapest car you see on internet and believing they're all in perfect condition. Oh, this is gardening hardware. I've never seen that before. Is there a hole in here? So there's a nice hole to collect the water, and then it's distributed in the engine frame. And this one here, is that welded up here? It's going all the way here. So you understand, this is a no-go. This is the best example of how not to restore an E-Type. Very often people contact me, writing me emails or calling me and telling me, Michael, I've seen all your videos. I know the car, the model I want to buy, and I'm going to see it tomorrow. Can you just tell me if that is the right car for me, or if there's anything wrong with the car? Of course, I can't decide on pictures, on a link, on an offer, if the car is the right one for you, if it's good, if it's bad. It's just impossible. Selecting or choosing the right car is a process. It's a process. I need to know what you are looking for, what is the intended use of the car, and not what color or dream you have in mind. That might become to an illusion and disappointment. But analyzing you, talking to you over a period of time, proposing, discussing the benefits and advantages and disadvantages of a certain car, that might change your mind, and in the end you might even have a better outcome of the process and not just having the fulfilled dream of owning an E-Type. And of course, there are many other aspects. It is about the color style. So in the 70s, you had different colors than in the 80s or in the 60s. That's one aspect of what you're looking in. But there are other aspects. So you can go for a fully restored car like this one. This is like a brand new, it's a full restoration. Everything is almost as new. And that is what you can see here. Everything is simply perfect and it runs totally smooth. But it appears to be a showroom car. On the other side, some people might miss the patina, the history, the live story of the car itself. And that is something you need to decide well in the beginning of the process of buying an E-Type. You see here the more comfortable seats? That is something with the armrest. So this is more convenient, more a tourer car. And now we go to this wonderful 2+2. People think it is not an E-Type, but it's a lovely E-Type. And the great thing about this car, this has a lift history. Still it has, you see, this is the original, these are the original seats, and this only has 40,000 miles. So what type of person are you? Do you prefer some patina, some lift history, still the old smell compared to a fully restored one? These cars, they might need a bit more attention, but they run great. The craftsmanship of the years they have done at Jaguar is outstanding. It is so fascinating to see how skilled the workers were, and you can still find some survivors. So all the comfort in the 2+2, the best touring car, the best GT car in my point of view. Where the other ones, the 3.8s, with the somehow called crash box, because you can't get into first gear while rolling. This car is a fully restored, it's a double-digit fixed head coupe. It is about to be finished. We've just pulled it out here. The tires are whitewater tires that need to be cleaned, but this is a fully like showroom condition, all original, new old stock parts involved. And this is, of course, people ask me why I'm only showing restored cars. This is an unrestored flat floor. It is fully driving, it is perfect. I'm trying to start the engine now, and you can witness. Let me see if we can start the engine. So this is an unrestored example. Let me see if that works. So let's get the engine started on this one here. As you can see, all these cars, the Jaguars they are driving, they are not trailer queens. This certainly is not a trailer queen. This is a weekend, an evening cruiser and driver. And it doesn't hurt you if there's another scratch be added. It is such a wonderful driver. My wife is driving this one and there's no issues with that. And considering that car is now 65 years old, it still keeps up with the modern traffic. And you still get the thumbs up. My interest is that you use the E-Type, you enjoy it, you hand it over to you to create emotions, and eventually you will want to love the E-Type and not hate it because you have chosen the wrong model or have been trapped by a bargain, by a salesman, and just because you were led by emotions and not structurally selected a car. Generally wants professional help in finding and evaluating an E-Type, you can always contact me via my website. So that is the best example I can give for using an E-Type. Oh, thank you very much for coming here. Yeah. So you bought this car and you have a couple of other classic cars, but you said this is, how you say, the
road cathedral.
The road cathedral. I love that expression. What is your, may I ask your age?
40.
40? 40. You see, everyone is saying the E-Type drivers are 60 and above.
Yeah.
So that you're the prime example for the new generation driving.
But my car is not.
Well, that's perfect. Well, that's perfect. That's how they are after 60 years.
Yeah.